What's Goes Reviews. This is just I Review It, and welcome back to the Halloween franchise review. Today we are taking a look at the seventh film in the franchise, and actually one that's a lot better than the last one, and that is Halloween H20 20 years later.
At a secluded private school,
we could have a Halloween party. A roaming orgy.
I love the way this man thinks.
4 students are about to learn
I'm not who you think I am.
their teacher's terrifying secret.
Who is that?
My brother.
Michael!
This summer, terror won't be taking a vacation. Halloween H20.
Oh my god.
Rated R. Starts Wednesday at theaters everywhere.
Or maybe it's called Halloween H20. Well, but considering that H is probably short for Halloween, that must mean the full title is Halloween 20 years later. If that's the full title, that's a pretty epic title. But for the sake of this video, I'm still calling it Halloween H20. Released in 1998, Halloween H20 takes place 20 years after the events of the original Halloween and Halloween 2, which both took place on the same night, so yeah. Now, in this timeline, Halloween 4, 5, and 6 did not happen. So that means there's no Jamie Lloyd or Curse of Thorn. Some people might find that good, but I guess if you're a fan of the Thorn trilogy, which why would you be? Sorry. This does not continue that plot line. In this version of the Halloween universe, Laurie faked her death and is now a professor at a private school, which her son happens to go to. Now, Michael finds this out after robbing a nurse who worked with Dr. Loomis of the files on Laurie. He goes there to cause up some mayhem. That's pretty much the plot of Halloween H20 without getting too specific into it. So, I'm pretty sure wondering, what did I think of Halloween H20? Well, I do think it's a better movie than the last two. It definitely is up there with the original Halloween. It's a good movie, and it does do the great job of bringing Jamie Lee Curtis back to the franchise that made her famous. Jamie Lee Curtis pretty much is the character of Laurie Strode at this point, if the newer Halloween movie says anything about her. Laurie is also really well portrayed here. Jamie Lee Curtis owns this movie. This is her story. It's a great idea of what happens when you try to get over something that happened to you a long time ago, but it comes back to haunt you, both mentally and literally. Laurie seems to have a great life going on in this private school. She's a great professor, she has a loving son, a great boyfriend, though we never find out what happened to her first husband. I'm pretty sure he died at some point or divorced her, but that's pretty much it. Some of the other characters are okay, I guess. There's Laurie's son, John, who barely has anything to do in this movie. John has a girlfriend and these two best friends who are extremely horny, as all they talk about is sex, but guess what, there's never a sex scene in this movie. Not completely, anyway. There's a few other moments in this film where these teenagers are just being kinda random teenagers, victims. This film came out after Scream, when horror slasher films were becoming more self-aware with themselves, and it's forgiven for that since nowadays self-aware horror movies are a given, and they're funny, so that's okay. But what's really weird is that there's a moment in the film where they're watching a horror movie, and if I remember correctly, the horror film they're watching is Scream 1. Huh. Well, it would have been funnier to me if they watched the original Halloween and would have been amazed to see a younger version of their teacher. I don't know why, but that just makes me laugh. Another character that's introduced is a security guard played by rapper LL Cool J, who is the idea of becoming an erotic fiction writer, but unfortunately, while he's pretty good at that, he's not really great at doing his job as a security guard. Being a security guard has you do only two things: keep students in and keep weirdos out. This guy fails to do both. Another person that's introduced is this other Professor Laurie Singh, and really this guy has not much to do other than giving Laurie someone else to talk to, and also so she can explain what happened. But at this point we already know that. her brother was 6 years old. She killed her older sister. Blah 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 blah. Michael's into a mental institution. All that crap. And for a majority of the film, there's a lot of weird jump scares. Everybody's always jump scaring Laurie in this movie. I don't know why. But, well, fun fact: one of the other professors I just introduced is played by Jamie Lee Curtis's mother, Janet Leigh, who was also in Psycho. I now see where she gets all that intenseness from. Now that I've talked about the other characters and the victims, I'm pretty sure we all know here. Let's all talk about the man, Michael Myers. Michael is portrayed probably better in this movie, though his mask looks pretty dumb. It's better than the other masks, and they did make Michael look right. He's not big and stocky looking like he was in the other ones. He just looks like a regular man wearing a mask. Although there is a good history with the mask in this movie. Originally, they were going to use the mask from Halloween 6, but the producer didn't want to, so as a result, they ended up making 4 masks for this movie. As a result, we get a movie where Michael's mask is changing constantly, even in the same scene. This is because they had to do reshoots for this movie. Now there's 3 masks that are not really well known. One of them is, it's known as the K&B mask, and it looks really stupid. So yeah, they shot half the movie with this really, really dumb looking mask, but halfway through production, the producer decided that he hated it. So as a result, they had to reshoot the entire stuff with Michael with a brand new mask. And at one point in the movie, the mask turns to this really dumb-looking CGI mask that even Michael looks embarrassed that he's wearing. I'll show you, but first I gotta show you the main mask that was made. This mask is better than the other masks, and that does actually look like a typical Michael Myers look. But my main problem with the thing is too damn tight. Michael's eyes are shown throughout the entire movie, which kind of ruins the whole lifeless eyes boogeyman thing that Michael's known for. But it's much better than this dumb CGI mask. Like, look at Michael. Even he's embarrassed that he's wearing this thing. Like, bro, really, what the hell? I'm supposed to be scary. This supposed to make me look stupid. As for the kills, they're pretty typical for a Halloween movie. Basic neck stabs, neck snaps, stabbings, throat cuttings. There is one where Michael gets to use a dumbwaiter to kill somebody, so that's cool. But as for that, there's really not much to talk about from this point, so I'm just going to tell the ending of Halloween H20. If you don't want to get spoiled, just watch the movie. After Michael has killed pretty much half the students, except for John, her girlfriend, and her girlfriend, Laurie manages to get them to get away and confronts Michael. No more, yeah, this time Dr. Loomis isn't around to save her. She's doing it her damn self. Laurie is finally getting revenge after the man ruined her life 20 years ago. She beats the shit out of Michael in this movie. They do, and of course, and also I should mention that LL Cool J survives this movie. He said he's going to turn this into a horror erotic book, which is a weird one. Anyway, the final thing that happens is Michael gets put to a body bag and put into a van. And you're like, okay, we know what's gonna happen. Michael's gonna kill the guy, escape, and no, Laurie's hijacking the van. She's not having it. She's like, damn you, cliffhanger. I'm not waiting for you to get to us. Michael gets out of the body bag, attacks Laurie, but she's ready. She slams Michael, she slams the brakes, Michael flies through the window, she drives the car off the building, and Michael gets crashed between the van and a tree. In a touching moment, brother and sister reach for each other. Then this happens. That's right, Michael gets decapitated in this movie. When I first saw this, I was with my siblings, and their reaction was priceless. They were just shocked. I'm pretty sure they were shocked for the same reason I was, but I was just glad that it was over. I thought, finally, Michael Myers has met his end at the hands of the person whose life he ruined 20 years ago. But as you know, it didn't stop there. I kind of wish it did, but it didn't. Halloween H20 is a great sequel. It finally brought Halloween back to its roots, made it a typical slasher, and allowed the character Laurie Strode to actually be strong and fight back. However, the next movie pretty much ruined that. So, next time we take a look at Halloween Resurrection. But until then, I'm Kobe the Reviewer. See you soon.